Unk Talk of the day, unpopular opinion. Well, the opinion may be unpopular, but the conversation is necessary. I'm your host, Uncle KG. I want to thank you for joining me today. Now, today's topic is going to be roll with it, get rolled over, or roll on. Roll with it, get rolled over, or roll on. Now, this topic came to me because I noticed that in a lot of different organizations or corporations, different businesses or different career paths or different entities, I noticed that they're all undergoing some sort of change, right? Some sort of change to a degree within their promotional system, different equipment, schedule changes, benefits, pay rates. It's a lot of different businesses and organizations and things of that nature that are undergoing so many different changes. What I'm also noticing is that the people who have been in these particular places or positions for a certain number of time, in which I do feel they should be grandfathered in to a degree, if they haven't had certain opportunities to get up to speed to where their particular career path or job or organization is going. If you have had the opportunity to get up to speed to the changes that you guys are about to undergo, you can either roll with it, those changes, whatever it may be, you can get rolled over, or you can roll on and move on to better things. It's as simple as that. But the thing is, a lot of times we decide to stay knowing that changes are up ahead. And instead of getting ahead of the curve and trying to adjust to those changes and trying to see the future, this is coming down the pipeline. Instead of that, we tend to stay stagnant where we are. We think that these changes are never going to come. We think that this job or this career is never going to evolve. And so we stay where we are. And then once these changes come by, once these changes start to take place, instead of saying, okay, you know what, this actually did happen, let me move on, we decide to either stay by choice because we don't think, that we can do better, or we stay because we have to. And that makes us get rolled over. When I say rolled over, that means that you won't get promoted. You won't get the pay raise. It means that you might not get the benefits. You might not benefit off the schedule change. You're not privy to knowing how to work the new equipment, so you won't be able to get certain positions. And these are the things that we got to come to grips with. This is all we're doing. If you had a heads up on where your department or your organization, your job, whatever it might be, is trying to go, if you have not made an effort, there's a difference between being stagnant and you like, whatever, I've been here. They ain't gonna never change this. This ain't gonna never change. Or yeah, they say that now, but man, I got X amount of years here. They can't do that to me. I'm special. You're not. You're not. But if you are there and you see the changes getting ready to take place and you start to put forth the effort and it still doesn't work out, your effort wasn't done in vain because you tried. You saw what was coming down the pipeline. You saw the changes that was getting ready to take place and you tried to get ahead of the game. And it just, sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. But for those people who decide to be completely resistant against the change, you have no right to complain about the way things are. You can't. You had an opportunity for things to switch up. You had an opportunity to prepare yourself. You had an opportunity to get ready for this change that was getting ready to take place. And you decided not to. So that's shame on you. That's not on your coworkers who decided to do better or get prepared for the change. that's not on the job who decided to make the change. If in fact they told you what changes were up ahead, what changes they were going to make. Now, it's a completely different story if you have been bamboozled. It's a completely different story if you just show up one day and all the doors are locked. Or you just show up one day and they're like, well, now you got to have this, and this credential in order to get to this position. But a lot of us have heard about it, seen it coming for the past decade maybe. And because it didn't happen in 24 hours from when they first said it, you thought the change was never going to come. So now you sitting up here getting rolled over and you upset about the people who decided to roll with it. And now you don't have the means or the capabilities to roll on to something bigger and better. That is not on anybody else who decided to adapt to change. Now, certain things may stay the same in the parameters of your, your work ethic, your professionalism, things like that. But the changes that they're trying to make in regards to credentials, equipment, things of that nature, you got to start to try to prepare yourself. Don't let yourself down. Don't let your family down. But a lot of us don't end up with a leg to stand on because we knew these changes were coming. We knew these changes were about to take place, and we decided not to roll with it. And now we can't even afford to roll on. So now we're getting rolled over. You got to think about these things, especially if you do not have the ability, the capabilities, or you're not in the position to affect the changes that are going to go down the pipeline. You are not one of the powers that be. Then you have to either accept it or don't accept it. But you don't have the capabilities or the power to say whether this goes through or not. Either you make the adjustment or you do not. And if you do not, it's going to affect you in more ways than one. It's going to affect you in more ways than one. And we see this with all type of businesses, all type of corporations, all type of careers that are undergoing so many different changes. And because we've been here, we've been there for however long, we think that somehow, some way, we are above that change. They can't do this to us. They can't do this to me. I've been here X amount of years. I've done this, and this for this job. I've done this, and this for this organization. I've done this, and this for this department. Why do you think a lot of jobs have different contracts after a certain number of years, especially union-based jobs? Because changes are going to happen. Changes are going to take place. Even if you don't want this particular change, a lot of times you get an opportunity to vote. And sometimes you might be against what they're opposing. But if you get outvoted, that's just what it is. So you either adapt, you just stay there and be disgruntled, or you move on. Simple as that. But if you know that you like where you are, you like what you do, you're not one of the powers that be, you don't have the ability to stop these changes getting ready to take place, then go ahead and prepare yourself for the things coming down the pipeline. So you don't get rolled over and so you don't have to roll on because you enjoy what it is that you do. And even if you no longer enjoy what it is that you do, some of us are so vested because the amount of years, the amount of dues that we paid being in certain positions, being in certain careers, being a part of certain entities. So just make sure that's always in the back of your brain somewhere. that you have to be able to adapt to change. Because that a lot of times that controls whether or not you're going to be successful. And even if you do adapt to that change, that don't mean that more changes won't come. And even if you try to adapt to that change and you fail, that does not mean that it's the end of the world either. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts." Make sure y'all remember that. So either you're going to roll with it, get rolled over, or roll on. That's all I got for y'all today, man. It's Unk Talk of the day. Unpopular opinion, but the opinion may be unpopular, but the conversation is necessary. I'm your host, Uncle KG. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me today. Until next time, peace.